Hi, I'm Lisa Vann. I'm editorial artist from Seattle, Washington. I'm also a salon owner and an educator globally. One of the things that I wanted to really bring you today is something that is a great passion of mine, and that is avant-garde hairdressing. The thing that most stylists don't know is how much work and dedication and time it takes to get the looks from the wig store or the hair store to the client when you're doing print work or runway work, or even just doing fun within the salon and working with your team. So today I want to bring you some great tricks and tips on how to achieve some of these looks and the preparation that you go through to get the end results that you desire. So today I want you to stay tuned and enjoy some avant-garde hairstyling. I think the biggest key to avant-garde hairstyling is inspiration. What inspires you to do it? There's a couple of ways that I look at building and creating beautiful avant-garde pieces. One is what inspires me to get the idea, and that often comes from art. It actually comes from environment and also comes from other hairstylists in the industry. I see some really amazing, beautiful look from Vivian McKender, Nicholas French, Angelo Seminara. These are great names to look up in our industry to kind of see where their minds go when it comes to avant-garde hairstyling. My recommendation for inspiration is look to other hairstylists, but don't copy other hairstylists. When you look to other hairstylists, look at what they're doing and then go in to see what they were inspired by. A lot of times you're going to find it's from artists or paintings or nature. The other thing that I look to is who are my models, who's lighting it, where are we shooting it, really getting environmental and also getting your team together to kind of know what they can bring to the table. A lot of my work is partnered with a photographer, James Chin, and also Andrew Deardahl, who does my designs. In some of my portfolio, you're going to see that we use from ice sculpting dresses to mirrors to sandpaper. Those are the wardrobe inspiration that I was given when we were coming up with collaboration to get some really great looks. When I go and do shows, we've done the Australian Expo, we've done fashion weeks around the world, then I look to a team of people, whether it's my designer, whether it is the producer of the shows, whether it's just a theme of the shows. We did a show at the Australian Expo that was all geared around elements. So we had water, fire, air, earth. And so each segment and each look that we did were designed by the elements. And that was a theme for the show. We also did a show that was around elephants, kind of banning trophy hunting in Asia and India. And so we were really inspired by the designers by creating looks that were inspired by elephants. And so we wanted to bring awareness to actually ban any type of trophy hunting when it came to ivory with the tusks of elephants. So you're going to get inspiration in many different ways. What I do recommend is not to take other people's styles and try to duplicate them. Come up with your own, be creative, and it'll be more exciting for you to have really original work. There's a lot of things that I work with when I'm doing avant-garde hairstyling. One is time. Time is going to be your friend. Give yourself plenty of time to build the pieces, make mistakes, refix those mistakes. One piece that I made, it must have taken me 6 months. I worked on it every single day for a couple hours a night after I got out of the salon just to get the results that I want. When it didn't work, I had to start over. So know that those mistakes can happen. For tools wise, I find that I go to a glue gun quite a bit. I mean, when you're building pieces, you might not look towards bobby pins and elastics and curling irons and hairspray. You might have to go to unconventional things like glue. When I'm building avant-garde pieces, I often go to Home Depot or kind of department like craft stores to get some of my tools, because what I find is I have a better result of things lasting longer when I'm building them with other materials than just what I'd find at a beauty supply. I do often get large hairpins or large clips or even metal wire. I've used fishing line. So whatever is needed when you are creating something, you want to have structure and security in your piece so that can last. Because a lot of times it's being like walked down a runway or you're shooting it, and if it's falling apart, it's going to cause you great headaches. So you want to practice with these pieces prior to your event, and that way you know that it's going to hold up. So today I'm really excited to show you some really fun techniques in avant-garde styling. And as we move through the day, I will be talking about some of the tools that I used and some of the things that I did to prep the pieces prior to today, because I couldn't actually come in and start a video and not have 15 to 20 days to actually make a piece. So we're going to talk about how those pieces were made. We're going to talk about what products and what tools I used to make them. And we're going to have a great day of doing avant-garde hairstyling and being inspired by it to do it yourselves. One of the things that I'm very focused on is sanitation when I'm out working, especially globally. Being a global educator, I go into different territories around the world, and different areas require different types of sanitation. Before we bring our model out, Alexis, I'm going to actually put on my face mask. I use different ones. A lot of times when I use a different model, I will change my mask and apron out before my next model comes in. And then I'm going to properly sanitize my hands. And also to note, all my tools are sanitized in between model usage, and actually in the salon as well, we sanitize all our tools after every guest. So let's get started and have Aspen bring in our first model. So what I want to start off with our first look is wig work. And so today I'm going to bring our first model in, Rose. And what we're going to do is show you how to make our wigs and actually how we install the wigs on the models. So I'm going to have Aspen bring in Rose. So this is our model, Rose, and this might look a little bit different as far as prep goes when it comes to wigs, because I was taught really quite a few years ago by Trevor Sorby and also Christian about installing wigs and how they utilize some of the model's own hair when doing a wig installation. So the first thing we're going to do is brush out Rose's hair, because I do want to have a lot of volume with this. And I'm going to have Aspen get the wig ready, and it's right behind you. Just the wig. And just pull it right off that. And again, when you're brushing out hair, you want to just make sure you're getting all the hair out of the brush. And I'm going to turn with Rose a bit. We're going to just keep brushing out all the crimp. And when I'm doing that, I'm just making sure that my brush is clean so I'm not getting static. And I'm just going to continue brushing out all of the hair so it's completely brushed through. So with Aspen, I'm going to have her hold the wig on the hairline with every bit of Rose's hair flat. So if you hold the front of the wig, we're going to stretch this over Rose's head, and then just make sure that's flat in the front and at her hairline. Is that about right? Yeah. And what I want to do is now I'm just going to go through and find some of the seams of this wig. And you can see here where the wefts are glued onto the cap. And I'm going to put my hand underneath and inside the cap. And I'm going to just slightly poke a hole in the wig. I'm not cutting. This actually does, because it's a wig cap, it does open up pretty easily. And we're going to just pull her hair through. So I'm going to have Aspen hold down the wig while I pull her hair through. So we're going to pull some of her hair through some of these open incisions that I made. Again, with your scissors, just kind of pull it apart, but you don't want to actually cut, because you don't want to cut their hair. So we're just kind of lifting it up and making some holes. And we're going to pull her hair through the wig. I did a match texture, so I actually did have the crimp on her own hair and then also the crimp in the wig. So we're going to go the next one. And you can start to see how that incorporates her hair into the wig hair. And this is just kind of a fun look because it gives you a little bit of a different texture when it comes to wig work, and it actually looks less wiggish because it actually starts incorporating a lot of the model's hair. As I move to the top, I'm doing a little less holes, like smaller holes, and then I'll drop this over. And you can start seeing how I incorporate that through. Now we'll move to the back. And I actually like some of her hair at the bottom too, so you can utilize that. And we're going to go right here. Hold that up. And do the same thing. And just open up the wig. When we made this wig, and I'm going to show you guys in a second how we made the wig, we just used a regular stocking cap. And with that, we were able to double layer it so that we have a thick enough base to put the hair on, and then it holds it in place for her wig. Next one, move her around here. And you can see I'm kind of opening up 2 wig caps. And now that I move to the top, I'm not going to make as big of a hole in my wig cap. And then using a tail comb to pull that hair through. And now, other side. We did a couple things with this texture. We also added some hair tinsel that you can get to give it even another interest of reflection. So there was just a lot of color and a lot of texture going on with this piece, which we wanted, and you're gonna see how we used it in the final image, but we wanted to have something that had a little bit more interest to it. And this was something that we did for a avant-garde shoot that was inspired by the Gucci 2021 autumn winter show. We just love the shape of it, and putting elements of the color into it really makes it kind of fun and a little bit more interesting. So now that we come to the front, I'm going to spin her around. We're going to start kind of opening up the face and then going in with some hairspray and just start shaping the texture of however we want to shoot it. I found that this was just such a great way, even if you're not doing something that's avant-garde and so much color and texture, you can do a natural curl wig, cut the seams out in between the wefts, and actually pull a model's hair through that maybe needs a little bit more density to it when you're shooting, and have it look like it's fully incorporated into the look. So I love the way it kind of starts looking like her own hair by pulling some of that hair through. And then you have that natural hairline. And then you can just shape and style it any way that you want. So there we go.